Now then, it's Bernsey and welcome to our regular Curiosity podcast, the CuriosityCast. Every episode we take questions asked by members of the public in Hull, try and get them the best answers from the very best brains in the city. Not all questions are about Hull, they can be about whatever you want to discover. This episode we're going to try and find as many links as possible between the City of Hull and the World Cup. You may have noticed the World Cup, it's hard to avoid it. As unlikely as it may seem, there are quite a few connections between the city and the greatest sporting event on the planet. Here to talk to us through both the straightforward and the labyrinthian links is local journo, PR guru and footy fan Phil Ascough. Morning, Phil. Time for coming on the Curiosity Cast.
Good to see you.
As we talk, the World Cup is about to get underway, but as people listen to this, the World Cup may be well underway. What is Thomas Tuchel doing? Or wow, that was brilliant. Tuchel's got them going really well. I fancy him for the World Cup, Phil. So we'll throw those in.
I wasn't expecting streakers to make a comeback.
Yeah. And I thought I recognised Dave.
Well, I think whenever this does go out, England will still be in it because it's really hard to get knocked out at the first group stage, isn't it?
It is. It is.
It's virtually impossible. Yeah.
Have you just as a football fan overview of the World Cup? It's been a strange build-up and it's a strange tournament. And
you always worry when you're a big football fan, as you and I are. Not so much Dave, but when you're reading more about that tournament, hearing more about that tournament on the news than you are on the sports programmes, it's not a good place to be.
Yeah.
And I fear it will get worse. And actually, I'm not that bothered because I wrote this one off a long time ago. So I watch it for the football bits of it, but you haven't got the same passion.
No.
I mean, by now I would have about 7 wall charts around my house. So I'm never more than a couple of steps away from having a look. It's hard work filling them all in.
Cheaper than wallpaper.
Yeah. And
very good.
This year I got 2, both given to me, and I gave one to my daughter last night. This is a worrying thing. She's 23 and she said, "Can I have a pen? Because we haven't got a pen in our house."
Right.
That's a story for another day.
Digital age. So are you not doing your Panini football sticker album this World Cup?
I never do the football sticker albums, but
World Cup coins.
I do go all B and Q on the wall charts.
Do you?
Oh, love them.
I feel incredibly underwhelmed by it. Even though the country of my birth, Scotland, are there for the first time.
It's normally something I'll really get into, but it's just not working this time because of all the stuff going on around it.
I gave up football when I had the kids. There was something I had to go. I didn't have enough time for everything, so I stopped going to the pub and watching football and all that kind of stuff. But I still always watch the World Cup and the FA Cup and all the big things. I can't raise any enthusiasm anymore for it.
I normally watch every game. For as long as I can remember, I've watched every game.
Yeah, me too.
And you get that bit at the end of the group stages where they kick off at the same time. So you watch one, and then you watch the other on replay. But there have been times when I've had 2 screens, so I could watch them both at once, and then you end up all
That's posh, isn't it?
Well, it's pointless as well.
It's common now.
You forget who's winning which game.
But some of the games are at 2:00 in the morning, and one of them I think 3:45 in the morning.
Well, Scotland against Brazil is something like 2 in the morning.
That was great. The year when was that? About 20 years ago when it was in Korea or wherever it was. Where was it?
2022. Sorry, 2002 was
2002. Yeah. Going down the pub at 3 and 4 in the morning was fantastic. That was a great World
Just
Cup,
a normal Saturday night out for you, wasn't
it? I loved it. It was a gang we'd be banging on the pub door at 2 in the morning to get in. It was wonderful. It was the most fun you could have.
We threw the landlord of the Bluebell in Cottingham out of his pub because he turned up wearing a Brazil shirt. But it wasn't middle of the night.
And rather than doing half-time snacks of like burgers and stuff like that, it was like you'd have a full English at half-time. It was great. It was wonderful stuff. But I just think these days, I think FIFA's killed it. It's got to the point where they're like a James Bond baddie organisation. And
they are, yeah.
And it's just, They don't care about the football, they don't care about the fans, it's how can we make as much money as possible, and it's awful, it really is now. I can't raise any enthusiasm, I'm afraid.
But the football may rescue it. It may, you know, the quality of the football and the drama provided by the football may hopefully rescue it.
It did last time, didn't it? I mean, last time was a fantastic World Cup, but not the nicest place to have it for any number of reasons, but the football really shone. I thought it was one of the best.
So we shall see what happens. Anyway, Phil has come, not quite bearing gifts. He's brought a couple of books. Unless I stand on my head, I'm reading upside down here. Never mind penalties.
Never mind the penalties. Yeah.
The Ultimate World Cup quiz book by Phil Ascough. When did that come out?
I think it was 2014, but I can check. The relevant thing with this is, I managed to get Kevin Kilban to do the forward, and Kevin, as you know, lovely bloke, lovely player. I think he's the third all-time record appearance holder for Ireland.
Right.
Including,
played for Hull City as well.
He played for Hull City, yeah. And his spell with Ireland included the 2002 World Cup, which I think was the big bust-up for Roy Keane,
Saipan,
which is out now.
I've seen it. Have you not seen it?
I've watched it.
I enjoyed it. It was great.
Yeah. So Kevin wasn't going to get involved in talking about that because he's probably mates with both of them. But it was just really good. He was in the foothills of broadcasting at the time, and I was able to get him for nothing to do that forward. And
you've not updated the book then?
No, I haven't, and maybe I will one day. There's
a World Cup on, Phil. Now would have been the perfect opportunity.
I'll do it when there's a proper one.
And there's been another 5 since that book came out.
Yeah. I think it's still selling, but this is the big one.
Was it? All right. Never mind the Tigers, the Ultimate Hull City quiz book.
Yeah, and who did the forward for that?
I don't know. I shall have a look. Forward.
Oh, this is theatre.
I know, it's the sound of Forward by Burnsy.
I believe you know him.
Yeah, wow.
And Swanee.
And it would have been, if Swanee's done it, it would have been a colouring in book or a pop-up book. I must have them on a bookshelf at home somewhere.
Yeah,
very good.
That was a special. This one's a special edition because I signed it to give to somebody, but my handwriting's so bad I messed it up and had to keep it.
So you've culled some facts from your 2 books as well.
There are a couple of interesting things in there, and if we need to, we can dip in and pull out some more. But
we've not got, from a Hull City perspective, we don't have a great deal of involvement in this World Cup. But then again, we've never had a great deal of involvement in World Cups with Hull City players. Well, I mean, we'll touch on a few, but who have we got this time round?
Well, I'll just give you this thing that appears on the BBC website today. You can stick in your postcode and you can find England players from your area, or I guess it's British players from your area, and the only 2 they've got for Hull and East Yorkshire, Paul Robinson, the goalkeeper, and Daniel James, the Wales player who started at City as a kid, but you know he was out of here quicker than a Somali referee, and you have to go into the.
He paused for a laugh then.
Yeah, so I didn't get one. I didn't even get.
Because you did it in rehearsals.
Rain on the roof thing.
We love you coming in, but we're not going to make it easy for you.
Let's give him a very delayed one of these. There you go.
Have you got a tumbleweed? I come in with one joke and blow it in rehearsals. But then you go Yorkshire and the Humber, and it's got John Stones, George Hurst, Harry Maguire's there.
Yeah.
So we can claim him, can't we?
Well, as a former City player. So who's...
And there's not really anybody else. I mean, before you know it, you're way back at Willie Watson from Bolton upon Dearne. So we'll forget about that.
Now do the tumbleweed.
Willie Watson.
So he wasn't from round here. That was the Yorkshire number.
Right.
Well, there was a tramp lived in Esley when I was a kid who was called Willie Watson, yeah.
Well, we'll
it's true, I swear to God there was.
I'm not doubting.
Yeah.
Lived on Foreshore.
Yeah.
And he used to water the plants round Esley.
Yeah. Did he ever wear a football shirt? England shirt?
No, he dressed as a woman.
But he maybe signed it and gave it away.
He dressed as a woman, yeah.
Well, he was obviously a pioneer for the women's game.
This was the early 70s. It was very much a pioneer,
yeah.
I can feel another Curiosity Cast coming on.
Ask Carol Thomas if she knew him.
Characters.
Yeah. Oh, there was loads in Esley. Spitting Harry, Whistler. Just Big Bill. There was loads. I can tell you all about them.
Village of the Vagrant, Town of the Vagrants. It's a town, isn't it? Town of
that's
the
not on
Tramps.
hey, that's my manor you're talking about there. We don't have that on the signs. Welcome to Hesel, Town of the Vagrants. That
would be Town of the Tramps, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we don't.
Got to get that alliteration working.
How did we get here?
Well,
like you said, not many City players have pulled
there's no
up
links
trees
between City and
at
the World Cup. Let's talk about Hesel Tramps.
Yeah.
Well, let me take you back to the first World Cup that England played in.
Go on then.
25th of June 1950. England beat Chile 2-0, and the first goal was scored by Stan Mortensen,
right,
who didn't play for City, but he came here 5 years later. So City at one point employed the scorer of England's first goal at the World Cup finals.
That's nicely tenuous, that.
Yeah.
What he came to play at City?
Yeah, he was here for a couple of seasons.
Right.
And he played...
Well, you've educated me, because I didn't realise that.
Well, there you go, he played 42 games and he scored 20 goals. Well, we'd have that now, wouldn't we?
Well, blimey.
That's a decent return. And you'll know, of course, he's better remembered for scoring 3 goals in the 1903 FA Cup final, and for some reason that becoming known as the Matthews final.
Right.
So completely omitting the guy who scored 3 goals. But this is an interesting snippet. The first goal apparently was given as an own goal, so he wasn't credited with his hat-trick until 2 months later, which gives you an idea of how VAR worked in 1953.
Do you get to keep the ball, don't you, when you score a hat-trick? Do we know if he got the ball?
Well, they did it then, but he wouldn't have got it because they reckoned he'd only scored 2. Maybe they posted it to him 2 months later.
A flat ball.
and I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel educated.
See, I knew Phil would be brilliant.
Next time I'm sitting in a pub quiz and those questions come up.
Benji was saying, what you invited Phil on for? He knows now. I was saying, trust me, Dave, trust me.
When I asked Bernsey to do that forward for that book, he said, me and Swanee don't do stats, but we'll have a go.
Yeah.
But the other thing, that tournament in Chile, that became more famous as the one where England were beaten by the USA.
Right.
And I think, if England end up having to play the USA in this tournament, they'll probably lose that as well, because I fear there'll be some skullduggery going on.
Ooh.
CIA.
Well, if you can stop referees going in.
Yeah.
Did you see there was a story in the Observer a couple of weeks ago about Gordon Banks, 1970 World Cup, who
that's right.
He missed the quarter-final between England and Germany because he was ill. They said it was food poisoning or something.
Right.
So Peter Bonetti played. England were winning 2-0, lost 3-2, but they reckon the CIA poisoned Gordon Banks because they wanted Brazil to win the final and just stop England at the earliest stage because they were worried about possible political and revolution.
And it's been uncovered by Gordon Banks' son or something, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
His son's discovered this plot against
I'm
his
surprised
dad.
it's only just come out now. But
yeah, it could well be the start of the next James Bond film.
Yeah.
And none of us are going to be James Bond, by the way, just in case any of us harbour any hopes.
We all wearing black.
Yeah, true. I just look like a fat milk tray man.
Yeah, you're supposed to give the milk tray away, not eat it.
It's gonna, folks. This is a listening treat, hopefully
Should
for you. There's
absolutely
nothing about football in it. Just 3 old
Which City
geezers
player
just
would make
rabbiting on. I seem to remember asking this question 15 minutes ago. So, who of the current City squad are actually at the World Cup?
Before we get to that, I've got another rabbit hole.
Go on then.
We've got to talk about Nick Barmby, who never played at the World Cup finals and never played for England when he played for City. But he scored the first goal for Glenn Hoddle as manager in a World Cup qualifier.
Right.
And that was against Moldova in September 1996. So that,
Well, I would expect the entire team scored against Moldova.
No, I think they won maybe 3-0, but he got one. He got the first one. And he played when England won 5-1 in Germany in a World Cup qualifier, which was a massive
one of England's greatest ever performances.
And that was September 2001. The thing that puzzles me is, having hammered Germany there, we then needed a result against Greece at home the following month to get through to the finals. And he played in that as well. So there you go. But that was a hard watch, that one, wasn't it?
Talk to us, because there's one City player who's not at the World Cup. Mo Baloumi, Algerian, but his dad has got an interesting World Cup story attached to him, hasn't he?
He sounds like a right scallywag.
He's got a couple of interesting World Cup stories. I mean, I think Mo Balloumi's unfortunate, and I think if it hadn't been for his injuries over the last couple of years, he'd have had a shout, because he's a cracking player.
Yes.
And I really hope he stays injury-free. But the controversial one, there was a match between Algeria, because his name, where is it? I've got it written down here, Lakhdar Belloumi. And now 67, apparently he's rated as one of the best African players of all time.
Right.
And he played for Algeria in a match in Egypt, in Cairo. And after the match, there was a big riot near the Algerian team's hotel. And he was blamed for throwing a bottle which nearly took somebody's eye out. It hit them, and I think their eye was saved. But it took 20 years to clear him. Somebody said, no, it was the goalie. And after 20 years, they believed him. So, that's even slower than 1953 VAR. But 1982 World Cup, when Algeria beat West Germany 2-1.
Which was
finals,
where?
In Spain.
Spain, yeah.
And Algeria beat West Germany. It was a group of 3. And I forget how the other result went. But it basically meant that if West Germany and Austria had a certain outcome in their last game, then they would both go through. And this is the one where about half an hour left, they both stopped playing.
Oh, I remember that.
Because neither of them wanted to score a goal, because it would have sent the mates out. And in attempting to get the goal, they might let one in. So they just kicked the ball around. And
they changed the rules after that.
There was uproar about it. Yeah. And it was after that they introduced a system where the last games in each group kick off at the same time.
And it was Algeria that lost out?
It was Algeria that lost out.
Including Mo Balloumi's dad?
Yeah. And I mean, I remember them from that tournament. They were marvellous to watch. I think there's a bit of a strong, proper footballing culture in Algeria, playing with a bit of style and flair, and that should have got them through.
I'll go back to your, and you're not necessarily alone in it, go back to the start of this podcast and the perhaps lack of enthusiasm for the World Cup, because it's the biggest World Cup ever in terms of the number of teams involved.
Yeah.
We might discover more new Algerias, might we? Might that be? Are you turned on by that? We might see countries we've never seen before and think, "Wow, they're great."
I would be if it was in a decent country. I mean,
you mean where you can go on holiday?
Well, yeah.
You mean not in America?
Somewhere you feel safe, and somewhere you're not going to get maybe arrested or searched as you walk across the airport.
There's less and less of those places in the world, I think.
Maybe, but nothing wrong with finding them.
Right.
But I am curious about Curacao.
Right.
I mean, my daughter last night, she said, "Oh, I've got."
A bottle in the back of the
she says,
cupboard.
Guess what I've got in the sweep? And I said, "Who?" She said, "Kirk." So could it be Curacao? I said, "That's it." Yeah. Then she became curious about Curacao, so she starts looking up. They've got a population of about 150,000, which is interesting.
Smaller than
Hull. And I said, "Well, have a look at Cape Verde," and they've got 500,000, which is about the population of Hull and East Yorkshire, isn't it?
And they're both at the World Cup?
They're both at the World Cup.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, Cape Verde were the first to qualify.
Wow.
I think stuff like that makes it interesting, provided they're allowed in.
Yeah.
And then, you look at some of the... Algeria are there, sadly without Balloumi. Jordan are there. I'm not sure I've seen them there before. So there's a lot of interesting matchups going on.
Yeah, we should say it's not just in. I mean, the USA is dominating it, but it's also happening in Mexico and Canada.
Yeah, and I'll watch a bit of the match tonight, or 2 weeks. I'll watch a bit of that match 2 weeks ago between Mexico and South Africa.
We're time travelling now. Never mind who's going to be the next James Bond, who's going to be the next Doctor Who. Back to actually mentioning Canada, there is a Canadian player who is a Hull City player, Liam Miller. Playing. Yeah. And I've got a piece of trivia for you on Liam Miller. His dad was a former professional footballer.
Yeah.
Played for Charlton.
What's his dad's name?
Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
played for Charlton. I'm meant to ask you the questions. Yeah. Don't put me on the spot.
There was a Colin Miller from Canada who played a few games.
Well, that might be him. My favourite thing about him on his Wikipedia page is his dad worked as an electrician on Game of Thrones.
That's good. What, before becoming a footballer?
What? No, subsequently.
I wonder if we might have more chance of finding City players who worked on Game of Thrones and went to the World Cup.
Write
that one down as well. We'll go have a look at that.
Get that book revamped,
I'm looking forward to seeing
I've
it.
gifted that to you. There's a question there.
Their first game, Canada's first game, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, will be against Bosnia and Herzegovina,
right?
Who may or may not be featuring Amir Hadjiometovic,
City midfielder who's been on loan.
That's right. He's been on loan for all of the last season, much of the last season. Scored a penalty for Bosnia Herzegovina in one of their playoffs. And he's a good player, isn't he? He's a tidy midfielder, brings a bit of control to things when you need it, which is most games.
And the City manager played for Bosnia.
I think they're very much his team, aren't they?
Sergej
Yeah.
So
speaking of managers, there has been City managers that played at the World Cup.
They have, yeah.
Bringing us right back on track.
Well done, Dave.
But it with most of them, it's a bit less said the better, isn't it? I mean, the one with a good story to tell would be Billy Bremner, if he was still with us. But he played there in 1974, and as a Scot, you'll remember this.
In Germany, should have scored.
Yeah, and he came to Hull 2 years after that as a player, didn't he? And he stuck around for a couple of years, and then he went to Donny as manager.
There is the new Hull City kit, which is out. There is a picture of him, of Billy Bremner, in a City kit that's
very similar.
Very similar, but that's got a central amber stripe as opposed to a central, or is it the other way round? One's got an amber stripe as the big centre. One's got the black stripe of the new kit. To be honest, that's what I thought when I saw it. That reminded me of the Bremner kit, and I wasn't even in Hull then. There is pictures of it on social media. He's one of my favourite men. I've worked with Billy Bremner.
Have you?
Oh yeah, I've
came to
done games with Billy Bremner. When I was at Radio Sheffield as sports editor, he did Barnsley games with me when they were in the Premier League, and I can remember going to Anfield with Billy. He drove in his Jag, and he told me loads of stories. It was brilliant. One of the best days of my life. When we got there, we bumped into the legendary Liverpool hard man Tommy Smith. And I walked into Anfield in the middle of Tommy Smith and Billy Bremner. I felt like $1 million. It was just one of the best days of my life. One of my favourite players. What a man he was as well.
Well, I covered the famous City against Liverpool Cup tie with Tommy Smith for the Sunday Sport. But there was nothing remarkable about it. He was convinced Liverpool were going to win. It was full of told you so. But with Bremner, I was working in Doncaster when he got the job at Donny. I went to see him. I used to go and see him every week to talk about what's happened with the match on Saturday. He was in the team, and he was great fun. He really was. We went out one night after there'd been a mining disaster in Donny, and we'd been to a fundraiser together, and we ended up in the Outlook Club, which isn't there anymore, but it's where I saw the Sex Pistols and all sorts of other punk bands and weird rock bands and whatever. And me and him were just propping up the bar, drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes. And I thought, I couldn't get over the fact that I was there with an elite sportsman, because he was. And that was his lifestyle.
Yeah.
But he was a great bloke. And I always remember one thing he said to me when he first met me with doing the football. He said, if you just write about the game, you'll be all right with me. And I think that shows how it's changed as well.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Legendary man. I'm looking at the time, and we've still not answered or maybe we have answered the question I first gave you 27 minutes ago. Which 3 City players are involved in this World Cup?
Well, the other one is Panda, the goalie, who's, I think he's third choice for Croatia.
With a name like that, he should be playing for China, shouldn't he?
At least he's there. So he could potentially, if there's a couple of injuries, if the CIA poisoned 2 Croatian goalies, Panda could be lining up against England. Panda was possibly in the Croatian team.
If we broadcast their planning, you've ruined it for him.
Well, no, but
his name's Phil Ascough.
But this will be after the game, won't it? So
we've nothing to do with this conspiracy theory.
By the time you listen to this, if Panda has played in goal for Croatia against England, now you know why.
The CIA have triumphed.
Yeah. I don't know what Croatia's national dish is, but I'm sure the CIA slipped something into it. No, he's the third. And then there are a few that hit the post. McBurney, should he be there? You're Scottish, Burnsy. You tell me if Scotland can afford to take a striker who scored to afford not to take a striker who scored 19 goals this season.
I don't think his face fits, and that's why he's not been included in the squad. He does whatever he doesn't float Steve Clarke's boat.
Yeah.
So a little unfortunate for him because he's had a magnificent season. But
And the other one was you, who was in the frame, wasn't he? But he's not our player anyway, and he got a knock towards the end of the season. So
might have played for Japan. It's we shall see. I ring. We don't know. As we're doing this 2 weeks before we're doing it on the day it started. And just you think England have got a decent chance of winning it?
There are players they haven't taken who I would have taken. Two former City players. I'd have taken Maguire and I'd have taken Bowen.
Yes, me too.
Because Bowen just makes things happen when you need it, and we saw evidence of that at the Euros 2 years ago, where England were plodding and he'd come on and run around and do a bit. And Maguire, he can be a bit clumsy, but I just think he's solid, and he might come up with a header in the box in the way that the other defenders don't really. And I think they may be missing a trick with that.
We shall see what transpires.
Yeah, well, it's on the manager, isn't it? If they have a disaster. I mean, I do think England find bizarre ways to lose big matches. Because if you go through, we've talked about, one bizarre way to lose a game, your goalie gets poisoned by the CIA. Fail to qualify for the next two World Cups. And that takes us to, 1982, when they got knocked out without losing a game. Because that was the year when they had a second group stage after the first round. So West Germany, because they pulled those stunts to get through against Algeria, they went in a group after that with England, and I think it was Spain, and England couldn't score a goal, so they got knocked out. And there's a big row because Kevin Keegan was subbed off late in the game, and they put Trevor Brooking on. But then 86 was the hand of God. 90 was the penalties. Didn't qualify in 94. 98 was losing to Argentina in the semi-finals when Beckham got sent off. And then 2002.
You're making me feel really old.
2002 was when David Seaman got done from the halfway line by Ronaldinho.
And we've only just got into this century. I feel so old. Still got 20 odd years to go.
So basically, the message is don't get your hopes up, folks.
Yeah.
No.
So maybe that's where Tuchel's got it right. He's picked a few people who people don't want. He hasn't picked any City players. Although, which City players would you pick for England? I don't know how many are eligible.
It's like the James Bond question.
Coyle and Hughes. Well, it's easier because you can have a foreign James Bond, can't you?
Yeah.
You're opening another can of worms.
Yeah.
We ain't got time. We're at the end of the podcast and you're opening cans of worms left, right and centre.
All right. We need to drop something in before.
No, we need to wrap it up.
Is there anything interesting on this list?
Well, we hadn't discussed Jan Mulby or Mark Haitley, probably for the better, really.
Well, they were the other... Yeah.
No, Phil, we can't. We haven't got time.
Yeah. Well, let's just throw in the reggae boys, Ian Goodison and Theo Whitmore.
I don't think you don't understand the concept of having... We have finished the podcast.
You're going to edit it, aren't you?
Well, we are now.
Give us it.
No,
go on.
It's just, two Jamaica internationals. Was it Brian Little who signed them? And Whitmore in particular was a lovely player. Like he had the ball on a string. Lovely player. Someone did tell me that at that time, City had problems with raising a team for a match, and they managed to get the match postponed because 3 players were on international duty. Those 2 with Jamaica, and Jamie Wood. Do you remember him?
No.
He was with City, he didn't do much, but he was on international duty at the time with Cayman Islands. He was from Salford. But he was on international duty.
But he had an offshore account in the Cayman Islands.
and that
big
got
signing on fee
off the hook with a match.
Don't tell Phil, but I'm gonna
we're going to have to
gradually turn his mic down so that we can finish the podcast. He can carry on wittering and coming up with nonsense.
I'll still be here in 2 weeks.
He's fully faded down. Go on, do us the outro, Dave, and we're going to leave.
And we're going to leave it there for this edition of the Curiosity Cast. Thanks to Phil Ascough for trawling his stats book and coming up with that lot. If you want to take issue with any of the facts that Phil has come up with today, you'll find him permanently in front of the big screen, or possibly two screens in any number of pubs over the next few weeks. If you want to get in touch with us on Curiosity, curiosityhull.co.uk, or follow and friend us on the socials where we're Curiosity Hull on all the main feeds. We'll be back very soon with more quality answers to whatever question you'd like to ask.